If anybody has questions, we're going to start doing Q&As. More people are going to start coming in. Everybody, you want to start asking anything, you can start typing it in the chat. We're at day one of the Mobile Tech Expo. This is going to go until 4 o'clock today. We're going to probably have a live going for about 15, 20 minutes, maybe a half hour roughly. Show a quick repair. Take a stroll around if everybody else wants to see some other vendors around the area. But right now, waiting for others to hop in. We'll do a quick repair. Right here is a damaged surface of a metal console. Going to take some black max to do a repair on this. You always want thin coats when you're doing your repairs. Nice thin coat. How you doing?
Is that your green, buddy?
So this is with the compounds. This is a heat cure compound. This is the Black Max. So basically, it's a high heat cure. This one is very similar to the Duraflex, just colored black. Basically to help out with darker surfaces. If you have obviously the black vinyl or leather, it's a lot easier to have to color this than coloring something that's a lighter tone to make it darker. So we're going to do a quick demo on this really quick. Does he have a torch or anything, or no? He doesn't have anything. I can't reach. All right, get out of my way. You're in my way.
What did you use it?
Black Max. So your first coat, you want to basically, you're almost leveling everything out right now. Right now, there's a lot of like lips and everything on it. So you want to heat it up. You're just filling in that little bit of area just to flatten it off. So now we have a nice, decent flat surface. You could do one more coat if you really wanted to get it nice and flat. But I'm just gonna put a grain into the next coat here.
So this is a different product?
No, this is the same one. They didn't want me using the bigger jar. They yelled at me. Got yelled at.
Bad boy.
So anytime you're putting compounds down, you want a nice thin coat. You don't want to glob it on. I'm taking a lot of that right back off. And then
While it's still hot.
This is, well, it kind of cooled down a little bit. I'll show you in a second. Um, Basically, you want to put the grain in when it's hot, or flat, like use the chill bar when it's still hot. What it's going to do is see how it kind of dulled out a little bit. It's going to start to shine back up, and then as you noticed before, it smoked a little bit. That's when you want to put your grain into it. That's basically the part that you're able to get the grain into it. So we have this grain here. I'm just going to use this. And then from there, you can chill bar to cool it down a little bit. And basically that's your repair done there. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. I've never seen
Yeah, you're not gonna rip right through that either. So
What do you do? What do you do if it's a
different color. We have our basically all our water-based color set. You can either have a pigment set or you can have a blended toner. This is our blended toner kit right here. You wanted to mix your own pigments and then mix the base into it. That's a different route. You can go that two different ways really. If
different?
you're
It's the same as this.
Yeah, so basically you always want to repair first and then you compound. No matter what, I'll still color this, but it's black, so I'll just do one coat of black and then I'll do a coat of top coat to make it a factory finish feel. Nice slip feel to it. If you feel this, it's got a nice, almost like it has a nice little feel to it. So it's not like you're basically, if you paint something and don't put a top coat onto it, if you try to slide into a seat or something, you might stick. Here, if you didn't put a top coat onto it, eventually, after a little bit, putting color onto it, it might almost like look like somebody had a chalkboard on it almost. That factory finish feel with the Duracryl top coat basically makes it nice. Has a little bit of slip into it, so your hand and your pants slide right through over the surface right there. Like,
Top coat, it's clear.
yeah, it's clear.
And it lasts.
Yep. It's actually chemical resistant. It takes about 24 to 48 hours for it to actually completely cure and bite into the material. But you can take Lacquerton or acetone, alcohol. You can clean it right up if you wanted to, and it's not going to do it. If you're doing a customer's car, obviously you want to be able to do something to back your work. So basically, what does that? The chemical resistant part is the safe link. The safe link is the binding agent to the material with our product. It was actually formulated for our product specifically. It's non-toxic. It'll bind to the material, and after 48 hours is like a good point to tell a customer. Still tell them soap and water, clean it up if you need to. If it's a dealership, you can get away with not even saying anything. They just want to sell the car anyways. They just want to make it look better. Private customers, like if it's your own car, or a friend's car, you want to make sure it's done correctly. You want to be able to pride yourself on that and not have them come back a month, 2 months later, a year later, saying, hey, that repaired, it broke back open, or it started happening. Right here, you'll probably have it cracking out here before this ever touches anything again. This is still a little bit, I would probably maybe do one more coat here just because you have some of the bumps here you can still see.
So you can just go,
Yep.
you can put another coat of this over where you textured it.
Yep.
And then just do the whole
Yeah.
process again.
And I could use the heat cure the whole time, or if for some reason say I wanted to switch over, I didn't need any grain, I can use an air dry over the heat cure. So, but you can't do a heat cure over air dry. Just basically it'll bubble up, it won't work. But you can keep going coat over coat. After you color, you don't want to put any more coats on. You'll probably have to take that off. It might mess up a little bit. But if you notice, all right, I need a little bit more texture, put a little bit more compound down. Or say you saw a little, some area that maybe there was a spot you didn't see. Start to dip in there, heat it back up, put a little, filler into it if you needed to, heat it back up. And then you throw your grain right into it. I'm only doing a portion of it so I can keep doing a demo later on, but if this was your repair, I would compound the whole thing, very thin coat like I did that first time. Because if you notice here, I ripped through and it's down to the foam now. So now the issue is, if I compound there, it's going to stick to the foam. See how it's got a little bit of wiggle room? It's not going to have that wiggle room now that I have that. So I'll have to put a sub patch or something underneath so it doesn't hit that foam and get stuck. But little
Okay,
thing.
so do you use like a neutral colored version of this and then put the coloration over top?
Yep. Yeah, so this is our Duraflex. That's a gray tone. So this one's a little bit more transparent.
Okay, so then you use your colors then
Yep.
And then to put
So you,
pattern back in.
yeah, so you'd use this with the compound first. So you want to do your full out repair, clean your surface, do your repair. It might be an air dry, it might be a heat cure. So you got to figure out that part of it, and then
No, wait. I'm sorry. Explain the air dry versus heat cure.
so air dry is like if you have like stress marks or anything that's not fully ripped through. Like this is ripped through.
Okay.
This is going to need a full out repair. You need something to, melt back into that to make it one again.
Yeah.
If there's stress marks or like the little creases going down on the side bolster of a seat, basically, or scratch marks in the steering wheel, or basically if somebody's ring is on the steering wheel, it just glides their hand down and has that little like almost like a spacing effect almost. Basically, you can sand that down lightly, fill it in with an air dry filler. We have 3 different air dry fillers. So depending on the depth of the, if it's a deeper crack, you would go with the heavy, very thick fill. So what this would do is you can't get textures with this really. You have to put a texture spray on, or you could use a texture paste. There's different ways to texture. It's just not the best way. If you can stay away from doing air dries, it'd be better. But sometimes you can't get away with not doing it. So you're kind of stuck having to. So what this would do is it'll fill it in, make it a nice flat surface basically, and then if you had a deep crack or a stress mark, you'd be filling that in, and then sand it down, lightly sand it, fill it in if needed in a little bit in areas, sand it
How
until.
long does it take that to cure air dry?
It depends. If it's warmer out down here in Florida, it'll take a little bit less time. I'm up in New Jersey right now. It's cold, so it's going to take a lot more time. Summertime, it's not long, maybe 5-10 minutes. Right now, with it cold, you can heat it up like really quick, kind of keep the heat going fast over it.
Right.
But if you put it right on it, it's gonna bubble, so it's not gonna work right. You can quickly speed it up, or where are you guys from? Ohio? I would turn the car on, get the car running, get it nice and warm, and then get going with it. But that would speed up the process a little bit too. But from there, you do maybe like one more coat of the. It's still a little tacky, but you do one more coat of that. It's almost like compounding a wall. You want to do 2 coats, and then you lightly sand, and then you see where you need to do it again. That's basically what this is. The XR12 would be our thickest.
And then, like over that, you would use something like this then to put the texture back on?
For the air dries, it's tough to put textures back on, so you have to use a texture spray.
Oh, use a spray.
Yeah, so we have a liquid texture spray that we manufacture, and then we have aerosol texture sprays. They're iffy. They work. They spit out like pebbles, basically. It's kind of taking your eye away from the flat area, really. You're not going to be perfect. It's going to be better. It's not going to be perfect. And that's what you got to tell the customer. If you have to go that route, it's going to look better. It's not going to look perfect.
Okay, tell me what this stuff is.
So this is the whole graining cartridge right here. And what this will do is it'll actually create one of these. You put a tip on, put it onto the cartridge, and you'll pull the trigger, and it'll basically come out the tip. And what I do is I put my chill bar straight down onto it. So what I would do is I would squeeze it out here until you basically get a nice little circle, and I'll push this down on it, just lightly, basically using the weight of the chill bar to let it do the work, and then it'll create this pad.
So you're doing that if there's a hole in it?
I'm doing that if I don't have a graining pad. So these are graining pads. These are texture plates, basically. These are graining pads. We sell sets of graining pads, which are right here. So this is the texture that you're going to get if you push this into the surface. That's the texture right there. So we have these are graining pads.
The same purpose as
Yeah, just different materials. Like these are harder. So if you have a dashboard or a center console, yeah, more preference at the end of the day. Some people like these. I like this.
So you're using this
to create this.
Which would replace this.
Yeah.
And that's just going to give you a duplicate.
Yeah. So say I had this. I do have these, but now I come across a car. I don't have any. Those don't match. I have other grains from these. Those don't match. What do? I could take that. I can make my own. Now I have an exact grain, and now I can go back, and now I know my repair is going to look perfect because it's not going to have some random grain in there that might look off and it might not look perfect, but
that won't stick to the vinyl.
This one, no, this is like a silicone, yeah. And these will last. I have some that I've been working with for about 5-6 years now still. So, yep, yeah. Same with those. Those will last unless you lose them, but those will last.
this is the same stuff as this. You just
Yep.
mix
Yeah.
part A
Those.
and part B
Yeah.
to make one of these.
Yep. It's kind of dummy proof. If you have workers and you don't want them to break the graining cartridge gun, then I would say get the pad. Like get these because it's dummy proof. You just mix two together. You push it. You put it into a ball. Same thing. You kind of push this right down onto it, and then you get this. If you really wanted to, you can make it a little bit longer to maybe here and then push down. I won't put too much into your head.
No. Well, here's my other question. Um, like, what does the complete set cost?
For
It looks like you have it as a kit.
yeah, so if you did the vinyl leather and the cloth kit, you're looking at, I want to say it's about like $19.95 right now. If you're looking just to do the full interior kit without the cloth, just for vinyl and leather repairs, you're looking roughly about $1,000, like $9.95 I think it is.
Okay, and we're a distributor. Could we either sell those through you and get a commission, or buy them and resell them, be able to buy them at a discount?
Yeah, he's the owner. That's the person you'd want to talk about on that end, because I can't give you pricing on that part of it. He'd be able to give you definite pricing on what you'd be able to get it at and what you'd be able, make money at. I think at that rate, I think you'd still have to be from what I'm assuming, from other people that do the distributing for them, they just got to stay in the same price range within what we have it at. We're out of Orlando.
Right, but you're giving some kind of discount, or you're giving
Some people get 10% discount roughly. Some others, if just somebody finding our website and they don't know any discount codes, they probably won't get anything. But we have a chat box, but more or less, a lot of people are right around the same price. Nothing too crazy on the discount rate. We're very competitive in pricing.
But you don't sell through distributors generally.
Not in the U.S. itself. We have other countries. We have distributors because it's harder to ship.
Not in the
Yeah.
US.
I mean, it's always something we look into. So you guys are up north a little bit more. Sometimes it's a little cheaper, sending it from Ohio instead of from Orlando to New York.
Well, you can give them my card. Just
Yeah.
let them know. If we can make money on it, I'd be
Yeah, definitely.
potentially sell it. If
I'll let them know.
not,
Yeah.
I understand.
No, I know. I'll let them know. Anybody have any questions? I like the plates. You like plates? You like these? You still here, Diamond? Does anybody have any questions? Anybody want to see repair? Color tones you can do on a steering wheel. It's a little slow right now. Everybody kind of seems to have been going to lunch. If anybody has any questions, we have time to answer those. If not, we will probably end this in a couple minutes to have another live, probably around 2 o'clock roughly, hour, and we'll have another live for a bit. Do a little around the venue as well.
Do you have any videos where we're doing plug?
I can find one. All right. All right, we're going to call it there, and we'll be back in about an hour. If anybody wants to see anything or has any questions that they can think of during the time, think about it, and we'll be back in a little bit.